I'm standing down here at the port of Savannah, Georgia, and I'm aboard a Maersk ship that just got into port after a long delay at the anchorage. So as we're all aware of, there's some major shipping delays going on at a handful of ports around the country. Savannah is one of them. A few others I can name, Houston, Texas, and then parts of California, Long Beach, Los Angeles are experiencing significant delays. So there's a few reasons why we're experiencing such major delays right now, and it's kind of a mix between an infrastructural issue as well as just unprecedented consumer demand for products, especially coming in from over in Asia. Consumer demand is at an all-time high. People are online doing a lot of online shopping, and all of that product has nowhere to be stored. The warehouses are completely filled up, so even if we get all this stuff in on the ships, there's nowhere to put it all. Another issue on the infrastructure side is labor shortages. That's in the ports. It's a huge shortage in the trucking industry. So there's nobody to operate these trucks around the local port area as well as around the cities to get it from the ports to the warehouses or to the distribution centers, the retail stores, etc. So from a mariner's perspective, how does this affect us? Well, one of the things operationally that's changed is being on a liner schedule. We're used to always trying to be into our next port at a certain time and leaving at a certain time so we can make our next ETA on schedule. Since ports are so far behind schedule, what they're having us do now is kind of race to the anchorage here in Savannah, or race to the anchorage in Houston, or wherever else some of these ports are having delays. So it's basically just become a first come, first serve type scenario where you get to anchor, you immediately drop anchor, and they put you in the rotation for next ship to come into port. So basically what's happening is a lot of these ships are racing out from, this ship just came from Charleston, so they raced down from Charleston to Savannah and dropped the hook, and I think they sat here for over 10 days. That's not very uncommon for these ships to be sitting at anchor for almost 2 weeks, sometimes even longer. So what normally would have been a slow steam over from Charleston down here to Savannah, it's not right around the corner. It was now a full speed, let's get it up there, let's get it there as fast as possible to get it in this rotation. So there's definitely an impact from this on the environment as well. We're burning more fuel to get to our next port to put on this list here. Ships are also going to be operating at a much higher speed just to make up lost time, for example, crossing the Atlantic Ocean or crossing the Pacific Ocean. A lot of times these shipping companies, to save on fuel, will slow steam across the Atlantic Ocean or the Pacific Ocean. But nowadays, I believe they're trying to operate as fast as they can just to get back into, or just to save on lost time. So we have higher fuel costs, and of course we have higher crew costs because these ships are taking longer per trip, and a ship isn't making money when it's sitting at anchor waiting to go into port. So you're paying a daily wage, extra daily wages for all the crew on board, extra food supplies, fuel to run the generators when the ship's at anchor. So a lot of significant costs here on the shipping side, and of course it affects everybody, including the consumer on the end here, who's waiting to get the product in store to buy it, or perhaps a small mom and pop shop that's relying on being able to sell their limited inventory to people and now having absolutely nothing to sell. So we're all in this together. It's affecting everybody in one way or the other, but this was just a little bit about how it's affecting the shipping operations themselves.